Have you ever walked into a job interview excited about a potential opportunity only to leave with a nagging feeling that something just wasn't right? Trust that instinct. While companies often try to put their best foot forward, there can be serious issues lurking behind those shiny office doors. In today's video, I'm revealing 7 critical red flags you need to look out for during the interview process. Recognizing these signs can save you from making a costly mistake. So let's go ahead and dive in. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified every time we post a new video about job search advice, or if you're just looking for encouragement, wisdom, and practical guidance in your career transition journey, let us be your guide. Now, like dating, both candidates and employers put their best foot forward during the interview process. But once you commit to the company by accepting the offer, that's when you truly see what you signed up for. For some, it turns out to be the best decision they ever made. For others, not so much so. As a career coach and former executive recruiter, I've worked with clients who came to me because they found themselves stuck in a role that wasn't what they expected. The good news is that there's hope, and we've successfully helped them move on and avoid these mistakes in the future. Today, I want to share those insights with you. I'm Chuks, also known as Dr. A, with 20 years of experience in HR and recruitment for leading companies. My wife and I founded Career Calibration to help seasoned professionals land six-figure plus roles without the frustration of relying solely on job applications that yield little to no result. We've worked with hundreds of job seekers to help them avoid pitfalls like this. So if you're a seasoned professional facing challenges in your job search, stay tuned until the end. I'll show how we can support you in your journey. I often say that what you experience as a candidate before you're hired can be a foreshadowing of what it's like to work there after you're hired. Too many people end up in jobs they regret because they didn't pay attention to the warning signs during the interview process. For some of you, if you had just trusted the gut feeling and investigated further, you probably wouldn't have taken that job. Granted, no company is going to air their dirty laundry during an interview. It's like someone on a first date sharing all of their flaws. Nobody does that. Also, you can't just rudely ask a hiring manager, "Hey, are you a micromanager?" It's true that it can be difficult to uncover every major issue before accepting a job offer. Some jobs start out great, but then a few company reorganizations and suddenly your manager changes and now you're stuck with a micromanaging narcissist. Or maybe the funding for your project gets pulled and now you're out of a job. That's not what you signed up for. While you can't control everything and won't catch every issue, you can certainly keep your eyes open during the interview stage to spot warning signs. And remember, some red flags might not be deal breakers for you. Everyone has their own tolerance levels, and that's okay. But it's better to know up front and make that decision yourself than to be blindsided later. So let's talk about how to spot these red flags during the interview process. Starting with communication. If the interview process is full of poor communication, such as long lapse in contact, ghosting, or vague responses to your questions, that's a huge red flag. Companies that struggle with internal communication often have disorganized and inefficient workplaces. Miscommunication can lead to confusion, frustration, and missed opportunities, not just during the interview process, but in your day-to-day work. So pay attention to how clearly and promptly the company communicates with you. If you're constantly left in the dark or receiving mixed messages, it could be a sign of deeper issues. It might just be that HR or another department is dropping the ball, but there's a good chance the entire organization operates this way. The next red flag, culture of micromanagement, is a clear indicator of trouble. It shows a lack of trust in employees, which can stifle creativity and lead to low job satisfaction. But how do you spot this? No manager is going to outright tell you they love to micromanage and will be watching your every move. During your interview, if the manager seems overly controlling or obsessed with frivolous details, take note. Micromanagement can turn even the best job into a nightmare. Ask questions about the company's management style, look for signs of autonomy and trust in the answers you receive. If everything seems tightly controlled, it might be best to just walk away. However, before making a decision, validate and verify with others as part of your due diligence. Remember, it doesn't matter what the company's vision and mission statement says. Your direct manager, your boss, is the one who will set the culture for you, regardless of what the company as a whole is like. All right, red flag number 3, turnover is high. High employee turnover is one of the strongest indicators of troubled work environment. If during your interview you hear that people are leaving quickly, there's usually a reason. It could be poor management, lack of growth opportunities, or an unhealthy company culture. What's especially alarming is when you see top leaders leaving, often they know things that the average employee may not. Don't just take the word of the hiring manager or recruiter. They may be trying to sell you the job. Investigate why the people are leaving. Ask about the tenure of employees in your role or department. If possible, talk to leaders who have left. If turnover seems unusually high, dig deeper to understand why people aren't sticking around. Okay, red flag number 4, bad reputation or reviews. Once I worked with the hiring manager and his team who treated candidates very poorly. When it came time for interviews, the hiring team would often show up late or not at all, cut interviews short, and provide little to no feedback. Many of the frustrated candidates took to LinkedIn and Glassdoor, calling out the hiring manager and his team by name. Just imagine what that did for our company's brand. Sheesh. That experience made me realize that the internet is a giant megaphone and people will speak up and gladly share their opinions. Before your interview, take some time to research the company online. Look for reviews on sites like Glassdoor or Indeed. If you find a pattern of negative reviews from current or former employees, that's a serious red flag. A company with a bad reputation often has deep-seated issues in its culture or management. However, approach these reviews with some caution. Some reviews might be old and the company may have since cleaned up its act. Or it could be a disgruntled employee who was let go and is venting their bitterness. Or a division that was bought out and the employees let go, and they're now taking their frustration out on the organization. Always take the reviews with a grain of salt. What you want to do is look for consistent themes in the reviews, especially those related to management style, work-life balance, or opportunities for advancement. Then validate those themes by speaking with current employees who aren't part of the interview process to get more unbiased feedback. These insights can help you decide whether this company is the right fit for you. So if this is resonating with you so far, hit that like button right now. Also, comment below. Have you ever taken a job only to find out it wasn't as advertised? What's been your experience? Or how have you avoided taking a bad job? I'd love to hear from you. Okay, on to red flag number 5, no work-life balance. A lack of work-life balance is a major red flag. I once had a client who was interviewing for a marketing director position at a major web hosting firm. During the interview, the hiring manager told him she expected him to be available to answer a phone call at any time, whether it was 11 p.m. or a random time over the weekend. She would expect an immediate response. This was a major red flag for my client, and he politely declined to continue with the interview process. If a company expects you to be available 24/7, it's a sign they don't value your personal time. This kind of environment leads to burnout and negatively impacts your overall well-being. During the interview, ask about the company's policies on work-life balance. For example, would you be able to pick up your kid from school if needed, or take time off without repercussions? If you notice any hesitation or receive vague answers, it might be a sign that your life outside of work will be respected. All right, so red flag number 6, division and work silo. So research suggests that when departments work in isolation, it can lead to inefficiencies, miscommunication, and a lack of collaboration. During your interview, if you sense that teams aren't working together or there's tension between departments or even within teams, that's a red flag. This could also indicate deeper issues in the company's culture and politics. For example, consider how this might affect your resource allocation among teams. Is one team favored over another? If so, this could make your job difficult or even put you in jeopardy. During your interviews, ask about the company's approach to teamwork and interdepartmental collaboration. A healthy company fosters a culture of open communication and cooperation. This red flag can be harder to detect, but with the right question, you can get a good sense of the work and team culture dynamics. And red flag number 7, confusion about roles. Finally, let's talk about role clarity. If there's confusion about who is responsible for what during the interview, it's a sign of disorganization within the company. This can lead to frustration, unmet expectations, and a lack of accountability. If the hiring manager isn't clear on what your role will be, how will you know what you're supposed to do? How will you meet expectations? This will undoubtedly affect your performance. During your interview, request a detailed job description and ask specific questions about your role and responsibilities. If the answers are unclear or inconsistent, consider it a warning sign. Now, I want to quickly share a few strategies you can use to detect potential warning signs and thoroughly evaluate whether the job is the right fit for you. So number 1, conduct your own exit interviews. In a traditional exit interview, HR asks departing employees for feedback about their experience with the company. You can do something similar by reaching out to former employees on LinkedIn and asking them about their experiences. They're often more willing to provide honest feedback since they have nothing to lose. However, be sure to filter out responses from disgruntled or bitter employees and look for consistent themes, especially regarding management style, work-life balance, or opportunities for advancement. Number 2, talk to someone who held that role. If possible, find someone who previously held the role you're interviewing for. They can offer valuable insight into what the job is really like and reveal any hidden challenges that may not be apparent during the interview process. Number 3, gather data from multiple sources. There is a great Bible verse that says, out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let every word be established. The more sources you consult, the clearer your understanding will be. Talk to current and former employees, read reviews, and trust your instincts. Just like in a courtroom, the more witnesses you have, the clearer the picture will be. Remember, your future employment is on trial, and you need to gather evidence from multiple sources to make the right verdict. All right, that's it, folks. Spotting these red flags early can save you from walking into a job that's not a right fit for you. Your career is too important to take chances with. A job interview is a two-way street. While they're evaluating you, you should be evaluating them. So stay informed, do your research, and trust your instincts. If you are a seasoned professional that is struggling to get noticed by an employer or your job search is just not working for you, I'd love to help. Click on the link below and fill out an application to work with us. If a fit, you'll be prompted to schedule a call with us. I look forward to meeting you. Also, need more ideas or guidance on landing your next role? Check out my free job search training, where I provide a comprehensive framework to help you successfully secure your next position. You can reserve your spot in this valuable training by clicking on the registration link below. And finally, if you liked this video, be sure to subscribe and comment below. See you next time. Over and out.